Hello, y'all. I'm back again for another live. Please go down to the description box within 5 to 10 minutes of this live ending. I will have the fair use music, which I will be using from my son Daniel's new YouTube channel, y'all. So, yeah, yeah. So just check it out. So I'll have the video posted below in the description box below, and it will say fair use music accredited to, and then I will have the video link and maybe some other videos as well, depending on what happens throughout this live. So, of course, I've been using this term called aware empath, right? And the blunt of what it means is your decision making is going to be a little bit more beneficial to yourself than an unaware empath. See, an unaware empath, they're still running off of machine mode. Come to think about this, I'm going to be posting in the description box a video by Carl Jung. He was a famous psychiatrist and psychologist back in the day. And he talks about when the empath loses empathy. So I will be putting that video in the description box too. And I think one day I'm going to do like a reaction on that video. So what happens is for the empath, it's the part of themselves they don't want to accept. The part that's, because all their life they've been just so nice. I got to do this. I got to help people. But their shadow self is what Carl Jung calls it. That's the side they don't want to face. That deep in their soul, they don't want to help. So with that being said, the same thing happens for an aware narcissist, but it happens in this way. So listen very carefully. Okay, if someone is an aware narcissist, and I told y'all that my ex was an aware narcissist, and I'm going to call him this because of this. He says, damn right, I'm a narcissist. This is what he says about himself. So I would say that he's aware because at this point, he knows that he brings destruction in people's lives. Hello, Carolina. Thank you so much for coming into the live. So the aware narcissist, he's came to the point that he's realized that there's a path or a road that he's left behind of destruction. Okay. And fortunately, I'm not one of the people he's destroyed. And the reason that is for one, I was not living in the same household with him. Now, who received most of the destruction and most of the horror from being with him would have been ex-wives that he had. Okay. So I've known this man a very, very long time. I don't want to be with this man. I don't want to be married to this man. I no longer allow this man in my home. Okay. So at one point, of course, because he was a boyfriend, he was a resident, not a resident, he was a visitor in my house. Okay. So I had a couple of places. So one place I lived in 10 years. Okay. And I met him right when I was going to be like a few years, about 3 years before I moved out of that place. So anyway, going back to the point, I'm an aware empath. He's an aware narcissist. Now, he may not use this word, aware empath, but he does reference to my awareness of him, game, and all of that. He's actually complimented me on my awareness level of him because he sees how I react to him. Now, of course, I'm pretty much in a no contact. However, I'm a woman that works off the spirit of the Lord, right? So the thing is with this, okay, I could go no contact with every narcissistic person that I can, right? But video ideas, y'all, it's hard to, if I'm going to teach y'all about war, I mean, literally combat, physical combat, It's kind of hard to do that if I never went out and was in the war, right? So what I do is I kind of go in combat safely. I'm like the sniper. I just sit at the top and observe. I'm not a sniper, y'all. I'm just using an example. A sniper is way away from the battlefield. They're way up high, right? It's kind of hard to get the sniper, especially if you don't know he's up there. The sniper is on top of a 20-story building. So who's getting killed? Everybody down in the battlefield. So that's kind of like what I do. I just kind of like, I'm at a stance where I can kind of observe. Hello, Ellie Massett. Thank you for tuning into the live. Hello to you. And thank you so much for participating in the chat. And thank you so much for the like. So what happens is I explain the theory. Okay, if you are an aware empath, it's going to be hard for you to accept that you don't want to help. But if you are an aware narcissist, it's hard for you to accept that your real nature is somebody that don't want to help. So what happens is with this particular aware narcissist, I've also referred to him as the lab experiment. I have a playlist, okay? It's called the lab experiment playlist. And so I have a playlist, okay? And so what happens is throughout life, you know, an aware narcissist, they live like a player, they're cheating, their priorities are never really their woman and family or where the priority should be. This man is a very independent man, this aware narcissist, right? But he's gone through life creating a road of destruction, so to speak. And the way I kind of battled with him by not battling for real most of the time is kind of intriguing to him. It kind of like he's like, this one I couldn't really get this one, right? So I just stay at bay because I'm hip to what it is. So what happens with an aware narcissist like this, they actually do the opposite. So they try to bring out, I guess, what Carl Jung would call their shadow self, which is the nice person that's down in there somewhere, or the person that wants to pretend to be nice. Because the difference between an aware empath is when I am nice, it's genuine. But when an aware narcissist is nice, it's always some kind of ulterior motive with it. Thank you so much for the likes, y'all. So what happened is, this is the situation. So this aware narcissist, all my other exes, I just went complete no contact. But with this particular gentleman, I sometimes allow the call to come in. Okay. So what happens is I kind of get to witness a little karma and to see kind of like what a narcissist's life is really like once they've lost their supplies. So see, if you always go no contact with everybody, you don't necessarily give me permission for here is what the comment says. Of course, I mean, you can be here. You don't need my permission to be here. You ain't blocked. Like done from Pago. I don't really understand what that means, but let me see. Give you your permission to be here. Give me my permission to be here. Okay, I'm going to click on your comment and see what I see. No, it looks like, no, you're completely allowed to be here. You're not blocked in any way. Not in any way. Yeah, I don't know what some of those comments mean. So to the person that's leaving the comments, you're allowed to be here. So you're not blocked on my channel or anything. I don't know what country you're coming in from, but you're not blocked in any way. So let me get to the point here. Okay. And remember, if any of y'all got to go to work or go back to work or you're on break or anything, oh, thank you for saying I'm a lovely person. I appreciate the compliment. Yeah. And I appreciate you tuning in. Okay. So yeah, you're good here. You should be able to have access to everything. Comments, any of my videos. You should be able to watch my playlist. Yeah, subscribe. Please subscribe. I always need viewers and subscribers. No matter how small a channel is, that's how you're successful on YouTube. Without y'all viewing it, there's no channel. So yeah, thank you so much for the likes. Okay, thank you so much. So what happens is with an aware empath, not an aware empath, the aware narcissist, they have this trail and destruction that's in their past and current life, right? A narcissist, even an aware one, they're always smile to you as well, to the person in the chat. I don't know how to pronounce the YouTube name, so that's why I'm not saying the YouTube name, but smile to you as well. So I don't know. Okay, aware narcissists, they're always creating current destruction too, and the current destruction that's being caused in the aware narcissist life is it's what they do to themselves. Okay, because this is what an aware empath. I'm an aware empath, which means I know how to say no more now. I've always had that ability, but I've emphasized on it now, gotten better at it. Okay, I've always been the type of person that could say no. I'm not gonna say I was one of those aware empaths. I'm not a codependent empath. A codependent empath, because you got different type of empaths. They're the ones that can't say no because they rely on narcissists and depend on people. I'm more of a standard empath. I took a test to determine that's what I am. I took a test and it definitely said I'm an empath. I don't need to be tested to know that. I've known I was an empath before I even knew what the word was, from the time I was about 8, 9 years old. Okay, so it's something I'm very aware of myself. Okay, but I'm not a codependent empath. So I don't I can survive without abusers. I really can. So a codependent empath, they gotta be validated through people and abusers. I can let people go. Anybody. I went years, y'all. You know, I had a very neglectful mother. And it was several years I did not speak to this lady. So may she rest in peace. But anybody that is very, very bad, that has not done what they're supposed to do, you should be able to let go. I love my mama. We ended up having a great relationship, the best relationship we could have. And it was harmonious. Okay. And we got close like several years before my mother passed. It wasn't like we got close, then she died. You know, within, I would say, about 4 years of my mom passing, we was on good terms. Okay. So with an aware narcissist, they're always creating more destruction. Okay. So you might want to get your notepad. Okay. An aware narcissist, that's someone that does not have empathy. Okay. They may use cognitive empathy sometimes through intelligence, but they have no empathy. No emotional empathy. Emotional empathy. Emotional empathy is what we need to actually love. So if you have no emotional empathy and feeling for another person, you will be unable to love. Okay, so a Aware narcissists or a unaware narcissist, they cannot love, not for real, because there's no emotional empathy. So the aware narcissist that I'm speaking of, the lab experiment, I called him, I gave him a nickname. And I call him the lab experiment because he does not know that when his silly behind calls me, I'm going to do a video about him. Okay. He does not know about my channel. He's not my Facebook friend or any of that. So he does not know. One time he was kind of suspicious. He was like, "Do you talk about me on YouTube?" I said, "Nah, I wouldn't do that, sir. Yes, I'm talking about him on YouTube, but I am respectful. I don't mention his name. Okay. You do not know who this man is or anything." So an aware narcissist or an unaware narcissist, no matter which narcissist they are, an unaware narcissist has no clue that they are one. But an aware narcissist, any narcissist, is always creating a trail and a continual pathway of some kind of wrongdoing or destruction. Okay. And as they get older, they may seem to begin to care about the destruction. So what happens is sometimes their karma and the Lord will send them aware empaths. Okay, remember I told y'all a story about how this man bragged about kicking this prostitute in her head while she was on the ground begging for her life and crying and begging him to stop. Remember, I told y'all about that story. Okay, go in my lives. And for years, he acted like he felt sorry. He did this whole game like he felt sorry for her. One day he popped off on the phone and told me she liked it. Okay. I did one of them, what I call her, what's her name? That started the abortion clinic. Let me see. Marie Sandler. What's her name? Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger. I'm gonna find that video too and post that. Her little crazy self. But you know, she believed that some of these fools shouldn't be born. Margaret Sanger. She's one of the founders of Planned Parenthood. I'm gonna post her little evil video in the description notes. But I did a Margaret Sanger on him. I told him he should have been aborted. I did. Because don't sit up here and act like you were so sorry and you regret kicking this prostitute in the head. And no, she shouldn't be kicked in the head by him. And then decades and decades later, he's saying that she liked it. But you see, he still contact me. See, he likes that shit, right? He loved it. When I told him that he should have been aborted, he probably got an erection, y'all. He likes that shit. And he never said it to me again. And he actually was finally able to heal. See, you gotta, these aware narcissists, they're like children, badass children. So he don't even bring it up to me no more. But that was the final straw. Like, it's okay if you want to vent and you want to say that was wrong what you did, you know, being a pimp way back in the day and kicking this lady in her head and stuff. That's fine if you want to every blue moon bring up the horror and your flashback of that. But don't, after decades and decades, tell me she liked it. Because I think your mama should have liked aborting your black ass. Don't say no sick ass shit like that to me. It pissed me off. He don't even bring up this prostitute no more. And I was able to find out the lady's name finally. He finally told me her name, you know, because I allow people, when they tell me what they did and stuff, I allow them to tell me what they want to tell me. If you unalive somebody and you want to confide in me and you don't want to tell me the person's name, then don't tell me the person's name. Because I might just call the police on you and tell that you murdered this person. It's best that you don't tell me the person's name. And I've had people tell me they've unalived people. 5 to 10 people have told me that they killers. Up to 10, literally. Here on the West Coast, I met serial killers. Y'all might not believe me, but I'm telling you, on the West Coast, near Seattle and California, is way more dangerous than the hood where they're doing drive-bys. We got whole serial killers running around this motherfucker up here. Seriously, it's no joke. They in the woods and everything. When I was displaced, they walking around openly telling me what they do, and these are white guys. Well, yeah, I'm the reason that you notice the meth addicts are missing. There's no more girl meth addicts. He did that. I did this. The hell? And one of the admitted serial killers, he passive aggressively admitted it to me, tried to lure me into his storage. Talking about he wanna give me some storage bins. Even though he admittedly declares he's a serial killer and he's unaliving ladies the same way the other two guys were that had the pickup truck down at the grocery store, even though he is admitting this to me, he still wants to lure me in his storage that was up to maybe 5 miles away so he can give me some bins. Now, you know I'm intelligent enough to know that I'm going to be in one of those bins, chopped the fuck up. And I can fight y'all, but he can get me in a bin and chop my ass up and kill me. He can. I don't care how good I could fight. If I had a gun, that serial killer, he was fine too, y'all, you know, physically fine. He kind of had that Ted Bundy look, for real. I met a real Ted Bundy. Basically, without having to meet Ted Bundy, I met one. It's more than one Ted Bundy running around the West Coast. It just is. So, but the serial killer has an addiction to killing. Even though he's declaring to me what he is and what the other two guys were, I came into the situation through running out of gas, y'all. Keep gas in your tank. You won't meet these freaking people. Don't become displaced and keep damn gas in your tank. And keep an apartment or house. That's the way not to run into these fuckers, okay? But when you out there in the streets and you may think, but this ain't no hood. I don't really see a bunch of niggas and hunkies around. But this ain't really a hood like that shit. Get displaced and run out of gas and see who the fuck you meet. You will meet some fucking weirdos. Right now today, that particular store, I don't even go to that store. I think I'm traumatized from meeting fucking 3 serial killers at that fucking store. And they ain't lying, y'all. You know, you think when people tell you they killed people. I'm not like the fucking feds and the state where they believe everybody lying. Those meth addict females are gone. They're gone. That particular road they was on, you don't see them no more. If they ain't dead, they locked up in their basement being tortured in one of those guys' basements. So be careful out there. Don't think just because you won't see drive-bys. We got sex traffickers around here. They tried to pick me up more than once. During the pandemic, I had my mask on. They thought I was a little chubby kid. I let him think I was a kid. He was like, come here, little girl. Come here, little girl. Because I'm short. It made me mad, y'all. I kept that mask on. And I walked up. I kept my distance from him, though. And I snatched that mask off. I said, nah, you come here, motherfucker. You come over here, bitch. And he left me the hell alone. Because I'm like, you weirdo. You thought I was a fucking kid. And I already had another kid that appeared to have her hands tied together in front of her in the back of their SUV. Yes, I called the police, y'all. Nobody came looking for the little girl. So they're trying to pick up what they think is a new child, which is me. But I'm not a child, but he didn't know that because how I wear my hair, I'm short and I was a little chubby and I was on the road going to the school. I was walking to a school. So he just blended me in with one of the kids. I don't wear a bunch of makeup and weaves and stuff like that. So it was nothing about me at that time that connected him to the fact I'm not a child. Trying to pick me up, thinking I'm a child, got the little girl in the back. I called the police and told it. She not white though. The little girl wasn't white. She was Mexican. So they didn't swarm to look for her. I would have had to say she was a white child. And next time, that's what I'm going to do. Next time a kid in trouble, I'm going to say they white. So all the police department could come find her. It was sad. It pissed me off. But yeah, they got a current victim in the car. She just looking at me like, please help me, ma'am. But what I did do is cuss that man out. And then they're dressed like Muslims, y'all. They're like from India or wherever they would be from, Afghanistan. I don't know where they're from, but the lady got on a hijab and he looked like Saddam Hussein. This is who this motherfucker looked like that tried to pick me up. Anyway, getting back on subject. I got totally off subject. Oh my God. But this is the shit that happens when you ain't in a neighborhood where they do drive-bys. I'd be like, shit, I should just go to Chicago and take a risk of a drive-by. Shit, I'm up here with serial killers and child traffickers. Thank God I'm who I am, right? But I let him think I was a kid for a minute. I said, okay, here I come. I played it off because he was like, come here, little girl. Come here, little girl. And then I snatched that mask off. I said, nah, you come here, motherfucker. I said, you want to fucking pick up a kid, bitch? And he was horrified. This Saddam Hussein looking motherfucker, he ran to his vehicle like I was Satan and he was trying to flee. I was still cussing him out. It made me so mad that he was actually willing to kidnap a child and lure a child to his vehicle in an attempt to take me, y'all. It was bad. Like I said, I called the police. So that is in the policing system. And so, and on that same street where this school is at, I almost got picked up again. However, that guy didn't think I was a child. It was at night and I didn't have a mask on and school was closed. But I was on that same road, but he did not think I was a kid. That gentleman thought he was picking up an adult. Okay, so yeah, it's called mistaken identity, y'all. And I wish I could have saved that little girl. But going back to the subject, that's the thing with these lives, you get off subject. But I just want to let you know, just life where I live. Don't fuck around in Seattle and California and any of these suburbs in Washington State or California or Oregon. It ain't no joke, y'all. Take your ass in the house at night before you get got. For real. You're in a different kind of danger when you're in Oregon, California, and Washington State. It's just a different type of danger. And yes, they can drive by and shoot you too. You can get robbed. I did a video about the dog robbery, where a guy, he had his dog rob my phone. It's in my videos, the dog robbery thing. Yeah. The dog treated me better, y'all. The dog did not attack me and attempted to give me my phone back. It's the man, it's the dog dad that's the problem. It wasn't the dog. So let me get back on subject. I've gotten so off subject. I done drank this coffee, y'all. But Yeah, so anyway, an aware empath will continue to they will continue their destruction, okay, even in their current life. The only good thing is if they're independent, the destruction will be less blows. And the reason it will be less is because they will struggle to get the supply and the victims that they used to. Okay, so like with this aware narcissist, he struggles to hang on to new supply. Okay, and this is why he's a alcoholic, functional alcoholic. He's aged out. Needs to take better care of himself, but he looks nice and clean. Okay. He keeps himself clean. Okay. He dresses well and stuff like that. I'm not currently going around this man. I'm in a physical no contact. Physical no contact means you do not go around the person. That's why I'm still alive, y'all. You know, you can't be telling people they should have been aborted when they're bragging about their victim, their prior victim prostitute, like being kicked in the head. You can't be bragging about this stuff. I mean, you can't tell someone he was bragging, not me. He's bragging about the assault he did on this lady. You can't be telling people they should have been aborted and acting like you Margaret Sanger for a day, like you one of the founders of Planned Parenthood. You can't be talking to people like that and be in their face, because they will hurt you. I said this over the phone, but everybody can't be talking like this to people, because if you're not the type of person that's going to finish them off if they approach you. So like with me, if he want to come and fight, I'm a fight. If you're not the type of person where you're going to put somebody down that try to kill you, then don't talk shit to people. You can't be like talking shit to people and then you like a scary ass. Okay, if you scary and you not going to fight or put your hammer on somebody, meaning a real hammer, or your screwdriver or your gun, then don't say stuff to them. But I had to say that. That's karma, y'all. I don't know if this prior prostitute is deceased. She may be deceased. She may be alive. I mean, I might have been speaking on the behalf of a dead lady. This lady is old enough to be deceased. Or she could be living. It don't matter. Karma has to come on him. Once he showed me he didn't feel bad about what he did to that lady, and he talking about she liked it, tripping like that, acting like he forgot who he was talking to, I had to tell him. I made him feel the same pain that he made that lady feel. You think she liked getting kicked in the head while she begging for her life? Then I think that you should have been aborted. What about that? Like Margaret Sanger, her belief is that some people are poisonous seeds and they ass shouldn't make it here. This is her belief. I will put that video in the description box as well. So within 15 minutes of this live ending, I will have several videos for y'all in the description box, okay? So let me see what the videos will be. The Margaret Sanger one, the Fair Use music video for Daniel, and Carl Jung's video about the emotional empathy. Maybe I'll try to go find the dog robbery video too. Maybe I'll try to find that. Yeah, I'll try to find that. So yeah, I have to write this down so I remember which videos to put. So yeah, for an aware narcissist, they're going to continue current destruction, but they will not do it as heavy because they will struggle to find people and supply. The supply is the people to harm, because people are aware of what a narcissist is. And if the narcissist is not willing to pay somebody's bills, marry them and pay all their bills, Ain't nobody gonna really want them because that intermittent reinforcement that they do in that breadcrumbing stuff just will not work. So what this aware narcissist will do, he likes to play games. All players do the same thing, y'all. It's the same game. They'll call you. Oh, I gotta go to this game. I gotta go meet somebody. I'll call you back. They'll call you back. Sometimes they won't. They do this good morning text stuff. That's the thing that an aware narcissist will struggle with. I will never reply to these good morning texts. Very rarely. I do not do good morning texts. I do not condition myself that when I wake up in the morning, I'm replying to good morning texts. When I wake up in the morning, I'm interacting with real human beings. See, the aware narcissist, he lives alone. I don't. So when I wake up, I'm not communicating with friends and family through a text. I'm communicating with them for real. Like, you wake up in my house, I go meet you, I see you at work. Okay, that's how I communicate. I do not condition myself. See, what I do is I don't take on the toxic values and that unaffectionate attitude that narcissists do. That good morning text destroys lives, and it's just a trend that needs to stop. When I was raised, people said good morning to me in person. And that's the way it still should be if you want healthy relationships. Now, if you got a like real provider in your home and a real man or woman in your home or lady, and y'all want to add that to your relationship because y'all are at work and you can't say good morning because you're already at work, that's different. I'm not saying don't know when to make an exception, but there's nobody I'm going to be texting good morning to on a daily basis that does not live in my home and is not around me. Like I said, I'm in complete physical no contact with this aware narcissist. So he's going to continue the trail of destruction. But the thing is, what happens when they age? An aware narcissist may not be so strong to not do things that he doesn't really want to do. So as I become an aware empath, I'm aware and I understand when to say no. So since I've grown to be an aware empath, I know when to say no and I don't fear it. But an aware narcissist, they continue to have this shame and guilt of their past because they're never letting their past go. There's a shame, not remorse, shame. They're not feeling remorse. They just feel kind of shameful, may wish their life was different. So an aware narcissist, their downfall is in their elder years. They're afraid to say no to stuff. And what it does, it keeps them in their own self will of misery. They keep themselves miserable. So I'll give you some examples. This aware narcissist, he goes to his grandkids' games. One in particular, a grand girl, right? And he complained to me that she doesn't really, the kids now don't really seem so grateful. He's not getting the reaction that he would like from his granddaughter. Okay. And he got the reaction that he put in, y'all. I was around when this little girl was a baby. When I first seen pictures of her, when I first had met him when she was a baby, he had a lot of supply then. Okay, he had all these homeboys. He had me. I was his new girlfriend. And he wasn't thinking about these grandkids. The only time he went around his grandkids is holidays. Spend a few hours, 2 to 4 hours, that's it. And he would always meet the grandkids at his first wife house. Now, everybody ain't messing with their first wife, y'all. But these aware narcissists still go in the house and they will use the kids as an excuse. Well, we want to show the grandkids an example. No, you want to show the grandkids a facade. And then when the grandkids grow up and figure out it's a facade, they don't go around those grandparents. And so the aware narcissist, he's basically feeling like he's going to these games, but he don't really feel that his grandchildren are really grateful for him. Now his grandchildren are not invited to his home. Okay. He's not meeting with them on a monthly basis. The grandchildren are not taught to call him. There's a lot of dynamics in this situation. The aware narcissist, he allowed his first wife to control the interaction because she's being controlling. The grandparent that wants you to all just come around their location, that's a controlling grandparent. Now, the grandparent that can do both, like the grandkids come over their house and come over your house, then that grandparent is not being controlling. Okay. So to me, the grandmother or his first wife is she's in a subtle way controlling. I saw the game way before it blew out to this situation. I always knew that he was not going to be very close to those grandkids. And that's because he did not create a relationship with them that was outside of his son and his baby mama. Okay. So they've been divorced many, many years. Okay. These grandkids that he has are in their early teens and early adulthood. Okay. And like in his early 20s and stuff like that. So, but this is the advice I gave the aware narcissist. I said, well, it's like that. You know, kids got social media. They won't be very grateful, but he hasn't invested. See, his grandkids, when they were little, they didn't come first for him. He lived in the same state as his grandkids. So, you know, if you live in the same state as your grandchildren, maybe there's some accountability he needs to take on why he's not as close to them. But I just told him, you know, look at it like you're going to hang out with your son, because his son is grown. And so look at it different. You know, you taking a trip to the mall where the game is at. View it from a different perspective. Try to find something in it that's beneficial to you so you can get over the hurt feelings that the granddaughter doesn't really want to be bothered with him. Okay. So because he's an aware narcissist, he won't be able to just say, you know what? I don't like the way this granddaughter treats me. I'm not going to her games. Now, the grandmother, which is an empath, she does not go to any of these games. She stays at home with her mother that's in her 90s. She doesn't go to any of this child games, but she's empathic. Maybe she's saying to herself, no, she doesn't like the way she's treated. You know, kids, y'all, these grandkids that my ex-aware narcissist has, these kids are, they've had a lot of material things. They've had both their parents in their life. Their parents are now separated for the grandkids of this narcissist. And so they've had a lot. They got social media. The grandson, he had a brand new Escalade or some kind of vehicle like that when he was like 16. These kids are spoiled. So, you know, to be honest, grandkids that really appreciate their grandparents more, they normally live with their grandparents and the parents are not around. Or unless it's like a bunch of normal people or a bunch of empaths. But when you got narcissists mixed in with empaths, the grandkids probably won't be so grateful. So basically, at the end of an aware narcissist role, first of all, he's not recognizing that he's also doing it because he's lonely. He's lonely and bored. So he's reaching out for help and people to be around. Kind of like lonely people become kind of codependent. But see, that lonely emotion as an aware empath, that's not an emotion that I feel. So because I don't feel that depressed and lonely emotion like a narcissist would, I'm not driving towards situations that make me miserable. I can say, I'm not happy with this. See, I'm not going to keep going to anybody's game that I feel is ungrateful. And see, me as an aware empath, I would tell my granddaughter, you know, when I come here, baby girl, I don't feel like you really want me here. I feel like you kind of ungrateful, girl. What's going on with that? See, I would say something to her so we can fix that. But a lonely, shame-filled, aware narcissist, he's going to keep showing up and call me to complain. But what I do know is his grandchildren were not his priority in the beginning of their life. And I'm not downgrading that. He put himself first. That's fine. He's reaped the consequences of that. This man needs nobody. He needs no woman to help him with his bills, and he does just fine in his small apartment. He's a single man, lives on his own. I think overall he's pretty comfortable in his home. I wouldn't want his life though. I'm just being honest. But it's his life. But I like to see how I revolve versus the aware narcissist. So see, once you become an aware empath, you're going to live a more fulfilled, happy life because you are not afraid to say no. The aware narcissist, as he ages or she ages, they become more codependent and they're afraid to say no. So in the last years of their life, their punishment is to remain miserable because they don't know when to say no. And guess what? Another thing an aware narcissist does, they don't know when to say yes. They don't know to take the $1 million you handing them. Okay, an aware narcissist does not know when to say yes, but they don't know when to say no. This is the karma that comes about in their aging years after they've left the trail of horror behind them. But as an aware empath, what makes you an aware empath is not that you know you're an empath. What makes you an aware empath, I came up with this term, y'all. I've never heard it before. I started it in my lives. What makes you an aware empath is your newfounded personality to understand how to use your empathy without making yourself miserable. And ultimately, you begin to like it, like in this Carl Jung video, he mentions that you begin to like it and you become a happier person. Okay? You just do. You just become a happier person. And I can't wait till y'all see this Margaret Sanger video that I'm going to put in the description box, y'all. Y'all really going to like it. Because this is what she's saying. She's saying this aware narcissist shouldn't have been born. She's going to talk about what the worst sin is. And the worst sin would be having him. Sure is. This lady is tripping, y'all. But hey, you may call her evil, but I just gave you an example of what she's saying. But she's not the Lord. See, the problem with Margaret Sanger is we don't have the ability to truly predict how somebody come out. I was watching this one video on the what, Break Fast Media. I'm gonna post that too. I was watching this one video, and this sister came from horrible background, and she ended up not being anything like those abusers. So should she not have been born? See, Margaret Sanger would have said her family or abusers abort her. But no, she didn't turn out anything like those abusers. So no, she should have been here. So the problem with the Margaret Sanger theory, she's one of the founders of Planned Parenthood. A lot of her motivation was to kill black people because she thought that black people were inferior to her, and we are not. She could have been aborted too. The same way she think all black people need to be aborted, her white ass should have been aborted too. Who is she? She's not nobody's lord. So the thing with Margaret Sanger's theory, she began the theory of eugenics and all of that stuff. The thing with her theory is she's not the Lord. And yes, you can say, well, hey, you think these are all bad people, they should all be aborted. However, she is not a god, so she cannot really know which one gonna be bad and which one is gonna be good. Candace Owens said that 18 million black babies were aborted through the Planned Parenthood process, because that's what they did. See, Planned Parenthood, they started putting those in the black communities first. Okay, but see, God was still all in this. So a lot of black ladies were saved because a lot of them got out of abusive relationships and they aborted the kids. They aborted the babies, got rid of the abuser. See, God is always, even when there's a mass genocide or murder happening, God will always be in it and saving people. So yeah, Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, she could be saying, okay, well, I want to help start this organization so that most or all of the black babies are unalived through an abortion, right? But God can still step in and say, no, well, these particular black ladies, they're going to get abortions because they're going to die in childbirth, or they're going to need a C-section and they cannot sustain a C-section due to underlying medical conditions. So God still stepped in, and some of those abortions saved women's lives. I'm not going to lie, y'all. At first, I wasn't pro-choice. Because of my religious beliefs, I believe that babies should not be aborted. I truly believe this. But as time goes on, I think it's the woman's choice. I do. I don't think I have a right to be making her have a baby. But in order for me to come to that conclusion, I'm not heavily pro-choice, but I'm also not somebody that's believing in unnatural birth control because of the deadly outcomes of birth control. Okay. So as I age, I think it's a woman's right. I've never thought abortion should be illegal. Even when it's kind of weird because I guess I'm kind of contradicting myself. I don't think it should be illegal, but I don't think you should get the abortion. I always understood that abortions are for certain situations and certain people. And I think the best thing and the safest thing that came about was medical abortions, which meant if you were, 10 to 12 weeks pregnant or earlier, you could take a pill or a couple of pills, maybe 1 to 2 pills, and the baby just come out naturally. But you got to be real early in the pregnancy. So because a lot of people were against abortion because of what's happening, how the child is being murdered in there or unalived. So at some point they developed the pills where, the babies dissolve through just taking some pills. So, but then with those abortions, they still end up having to do a surgical abortion and do the D&C because sometimes the total baby does not come out. So there's all these different things, but it's all these different outcomes to it that that can happen. They be sending these healthcare texts. Okay, so I got a call. I like the health insurance now. They send a lot of good texts. So basically that's what happens. So ultimately, an aware narcissist, as they age, they're unable to say no in the way that they used to. Okay. And an aware empath, as he or she ages, we are able to say no and not feel bad about it. An aware empath is also not codependent. You don't need people to survive and live. You don't. Especially bad people. So it's just interesting. I'm in no contact with any ex, but the Lord allowing me to tap in with this aware narcissist and listen and see his karma, it's very interesting to me. It's very interesting to me just to see and witness how it plays out. Do I want it happening? No. But all of us will get karma, even me. I'm not exempt from it. It's just that I think that as an aware empath and being a praying woman or lady, I can handle it a little better. Because through logic, see, as an aware empath, I realize everything is not in my control. I'm more fearless. Like I said, I would say something to my granddaughter. Why you act like you don't want me to be here? Say something to her. See, but as an aware narcissist, see, the aware narcissist, he talks a lot of shit when he's younger and he speaks up when he shouldn't. Oh, he talked big shit to me, y'all. Years ago, he used to run his mouth. It's just I shut it down because I'll listen to that bullshit for a while. But he wasn't name calling me and stuff. That's the one thing I could always say. He respected me. He didn't call me out my name and stuff. So he had a regard for me, okay, that I could see that was there. But I demanded that. That's something if you want to be in my life, you got to be that type of person. I don't have men or misogynists in my life that call me out my name. These men I will not be contacting. But this aware narcissist, see, he knew not to do that. If he is calling me names, he's doing it behind my back. So, yeah, basically, let me find Margaret Sanger's video, y'all. Y'all gonna think this is crazy. And then I'll post this down in the description box of her. Like I said, she's the founder of Planned Parenthood. And this one particular gentleman that posted her just thinks she's evil as hell. But hey, there's always some truth in the evil, right? You just got to know how to find it and recognize it. I'm more understanding of why people get abortions. So I'm not judgmental of it. It has nothing to do with me. See, this is the thing. If a lady gets an abortion, it's not my relative, okay, and it's not my baby, and I'm not going to be responsible for them, okay? So it is really not my position to be telling her what she can or can't do. I believe that being against abortion or anti-abortion, I think that's a misogynist or misogynistic attitude. Men that hate women, that feel like they have the right to dictate what a woman does and what she doesn't do. And I don't feel like I have power over other people. So I'm going to play this video for y'all. Okay. Margaret Sanger. I was tripping when I heard what she said, but
this is Margaret Sanger, one of the founders of Planned Parenthood. Listen to what she says here.
Do you believe in sin? When I say believe, I don't mean believe in committing sin. Do you believe there is such a thing as sin?
Well, I think the greatest sin in the world is bringing children into the world that have disease from their parents, that have no chance in the world to be a human being, practically. Delinquents, prisoners, all sorts of things just mocked when they're born. That, to me, is the greatest sin that people can commit.
But sin in the ordinary sense that we regard it, do you believe or do you not believe?
Well, what would they be?
Do you believe that infidelity is a sin?
Well, I'm not going to specify what I think is sin. I've stated what I think is the worst sin.
Yes, but then you asked me to say what, and I said what, and you refused to answer me?
Yes, I don't know about infidelity. It has so many personalities to it, and what a person's own belief is. I couldn't generalize on any of those things as this.
This is Margaret.
She's talking about infidelity got so many personalities to it. No, who has different personalities is all of us, y'all. And I'm going to be doing a video on the multiple personality stuff. I'm going to explain to you what it really is and how it's healthy, you know. You can't just be the same person. But in this video, she says prisoners and stuff like that, you know, and my youngest son, Daniel, you know, we've been on these lives and he just experienced several months of incarceration, right? Now, I've been incarcerated a weekend. I mean, I could have unalived the nigga, right? But that's what the report's saying, that he could have died. But nigga, keep your hands off people. Stop being a misogynist thinking that you could just beat bitches up whenever the fuck you feel like it just because you married. So see, this thing with Margaret Sanger, and she ended up being convicted of crimes. Okay? Now, I don't think she did heavy prison or jail time. I think she was able to avoid that, I think. But she's a hypocrite. The same prisoners and shit, she damn near became one because she was opening these abortion clinics illegally. So she was convicted of crimes. Yes, she was. So her theory in this video is that prisoners or people that are incarcerated should have been aborted, basically. And that's why she thinks it's a sin to have them. But Daniel, he was incarcerated. To be honest, incarcerated people, anybody, I don't care if you went to jail one time. If you ain't been raped or beat in there, you come out a better person. So who is she to say? Sometimes that's what a person got to go through to get a life to the Lord and to be more obedient. Daniel's doing wonderful. Drug-free. The thing with Daniel is he got to work on staying on the right path. Support his YouTube channel, y'all, because he's trying to do a YouTube channel and work, and he's in church and stuff. It's up to him what he wants to do. However, he does not give up the fight. The fight against drugs and, you know, being in the streets. You know, I told Daniel, I said, that's just one of your personalities, man. See, in order for them to diagnose you with multiple personality disorder, you got to be naming these people. But we all have multiple personalities. If somebody break in right now, I'm going to be the ass kicker, Irene. I'm on YouTube educating y'all, so I'm the content creator, Irene. When I help my family and my son today, I'm the mother, Irene. If I go to the church or masjid, I'm the religious Irene. When I go to the track today and do my 6-mile walk, I'm the athletic Irene. When I go get my business license, I'm the business owner Irene. When I clean my home, I'm the maid Irene. See, all these different personalities is what we all have. If you don't have them, you're not going to be able to construct your life properly. If you on drugs and alcohol, you the drug addict person. I got a little small coffee right now. I'm the coffee Irene. Okay? So that's how I explained it to my son Daniel. I said, you know, when people get on drugs, that's their other personality. So see, when that other personality come out and you only naming it one person. See, the person that I had to watch this video from way back archives. What woke me up to this was watching this black lady. She had 7 different personalities. Now, see, when they show Sybil, the white lady, she had 100 motherfucking personalities. I got lost in the crowd. But to actually learn something, watching the black lady that had 7 personalities, one of her personalities was real violent and strong. And that one went and killed a white lady that was in a hotel room or nursing home, wherever it was. So the black lady with the multiple personality disorder, she was working a job and got into it with the elderly white lady and murdered her. Because that personality, I think that was Wanda that did that shit. And she had white psychiatrists. But see, the thing is, I learned a lot from multiple personality disorder with watching psychiatrists. The thing is, with that disorder, you do need a real psychiatrist that understands it. Because like the psychiatrist said, I think it was Wanda. Wanda was one of her personalities, the dangerous one. So the white psychiatrist or psychologist said, Wanda don't want to go nowhere. Wanda says, this is the body that I survive in. It's just like trying to make me not be Irene. But see, the difference is when we have multiple personalities, we all call them one name, which is good because I can control it. I can control the Irene that's going to unalive somebody that break in. I could declare, you know what? He decided to run away from the house and he's running out my front door, so I don't need to kill him. That's unnecessary. I can just lock my door behind this gentleman and call the police. Or if a lady broke in, I can say, okay, she's leaving. But when you have the severe multiple personality disorder, because that's what's happening, it's severe. So basically, this is how you know you got multiple personality disorder. And check this out. Psychology not going to tell you this. They ain't got to have names. We all got multiple personality disorder. Because I just gave you an example. Right now, I'm the content creator, Irene. Several hours when Daniel arrives back home, I'm going to be the mother, Irene. If you play tennis, you're the tennis player, Bob. When you're at your store that you're the store owner, Bob. We all have different personalities, but when it becomes a problem is when one of those personalities is on drugs and alcohol, and now you at the wrong location and you end up in jail or prison. So what happens is you got to control that Negro. Okay, that Negro, you got to get under control because you got to understand that one of my personalities is a drug addict, thug. That's literally what happens. And this is how you know that that's what's happening. And I had to explain this to Daniel. I told Daniel, I said, you're a Christian guy. You know, Daniel saved and baptized. But I watched videos of my son Daniel doing his little street thugging thing. And I'm like, that's a totally different boy. Who the fuck is he? But that's because Daniel got another personality. And I told him, I said, ain't no psychiatrist gonna tell you this, but if you can get that nigga under control, you will be fine. You will never do drugs and alcohol. They not gonna say you got multiple personality disorder in a mental health evaluation unless you start naming these motherfuckers. Now, if I start naming the one that like to clean the house and pray, that's Shirley. Okay, and then the content creator, this Irene. The one that'll fight somebody, that's Medusa. So if I start naming all these people, then they're gonna say I got multiple personality disorder. But if you don't name them, you're in a lot of danger, because they not gonna, the closest they'll say that you have multiple personality disorder is if they say you have narcissistic personality disorder. But that still ain't describing enough. They're just saying you have narcissistic personality disorder. And that's what narcissists have. That's why their life gets out of control. Because when you're a narcissist, you have different facades. But see, they're facades. That ain't their real personality per se. Versus empathic people, it's our real personality. When I go clean the house, that's really Irene. When I do this content creation on this video, on this live, it's really Irene. So all of y'all have different personalities. And whatever personality is getting you in trouble, that's the one you got to control. Listen, y'all, I had a relative die in Texas. And I had some threats, physical threats made upon me. A lady walked up. I was in Taco Bell. She was mad because the middle son, Elijah, the one that kind of got out of control, he just had a birthday, y'all, as well. She didn't want Elijah with her daughter because her daughter was underage. It's basically with statutory rape. So, which means, she's willingly having sex with Elijah, but he's legally too old, up under the statutory rape standard. So she didn't want Elijah with her daughter. I didn't want Elijah with her daughter. She seen myself and my two other sons at Taco Bell. Her husband came in. He was cool, real good man. And I escorted him out and told him, he came in there with his red t-shirt on. He's a prior blood. I said, nice color, Jose. I like red too. That's my favorite color too, dog. So, I escort him out. His wife out there in the parking lot because of her behavior. She flipping out. Talking about she gonna beat my ass. She gonna beat my ass though, but she ain't moving from that spot she in. And Jose, he's familiar with different personalities. You know what he did? He begged her not to come over to me. See, he's a prior blood, right? So I don't need to be screaming and hollering and acting like a ghetto nut for him to perceive danger. I know my other personality. And that other personality will get you killed. If somebody's threatening you and they want to fight, months later, they ended up finding a gun on her that did not have a serial number on it. So when I run up on her, even if she's threatening me, now she has a right to shoot me. I didn't do that. See, I control that other personality. Now, the other personality that I have is not going to allow her to run up on me and just beat me down as well. So that's what I believe. I believe, and I learned this, and I'm going to try to find that video. It's from way back archives, and it's the black lady that has multiple personality disorder. And we all have it. We just got to learn to control it. We got to learn to control the stressed out personality. Some of us got the stressed out personality. So we start abusing and talking shit to our families and being cruel and mean to people. We got to control that personality as well so that we can be a better person. But I control it because, see, that other personality will get you incarcerated. You end up in prison and stuff. So I've done a very good job. Anger management is one of my favorite classes. Out of any college class that I've ever taken in my entire life, my favorite classes was anger management. I didn't take this class in college. Okay, I took this outside of college, but there's no college class that can top the information and the education that you get from a good anger management class. Catholic community services and Lutheran services, if they have them now, those type of anger management taken through religious kind of forms and agencies are the best. Okay, so that's what I would recommend. And angry people are good people. They just have a personality that they need to learn how to get under control. That's all it is. It's just a personality, and it's a personality that's needed. I'm going to be doing a video as well on homicidal ideation. Okay, I'm going to be doing a video on that as well, homicidal ideation. And that's another personality too. All protectors need to have that personality. You need to have a homicidal ideation, because whether you're a lady or a man, if you are the leader of your home, you have to be able to protect yourself and your relatives, physically protect people. And so in order to do that, you need a homicidal ideation. It's a good thing. Don't be so fearful of these terms. Stop thinking every time somebody calls you something that it needs to be changed. I've been called a passive aggressive, assertive. A brother called me that. Another Scorpio. He's right. I am assertive and passive aggressive. But that is what I need to be. If I have a personality, it's best that I'm passive aggressive and not aggressive. Now, passive aggressive means I'm displaying my attitude and that I'm pissed off through a form of silence and passive aggressive nature. I'm doing it more quiet and sneaky, some would say, but really not sneaky, because you can clearly see I'm being passive aggressive. So if the other Scorpio can say I'm assertive and passive aggressive, he needs to learn to be more passive aggressive. Because if he was more passive aggressive, he wouldn't have been threatening me and calling me retarded and talking crazy to me. Okay? But I'm not going to change being passive aggressive. Because if I change that, then I become aggressive. And then the angry personality can lead me where? The penitentiary. So I must be passive aggressive. And being assertive, there's nothing wrong with being assertive. I'm a leader. So a leader needs to be able to have strength to ask for what they want, to get their needs met, to work and function in society. You can be assertive and be polite. You can be assertive and not be bossy. Some people are assertive and bossy, but I'm assertive and I'm passive aggressive. It's all good. I have a homicidal ideation. I have no relatives that anyone is unaliving, whether they be in St. Louis, on the West Coast, in Alabama. Ain't nobody unalive my family neither. You need family members that have a homicidal ideation. That way, people aren't fucking with your family and friends. If people view you as all soft, if all your personalities are soft, people is going to be killing you and beating your ass all the time. Okay, it's nothing wrong. These are personality parts that the Lord gives you. I'm a leader. I need to have a homicidal ideation. I'm a mother. Daniel's a teenager. It's not really his job to unalive. Yeah, he's a male, but he's a teenager still. It's not his job to unalive somebody that breaks in. It's my job. Now, can he help me and say, well, I'm going to help mom out so mom doesn't get killed? Yes, he can, but it's not really his job. I'm the mother. I'm his protector first. Now, he can reciprocate that, but as a mother, I'd rather he run if somebody break in. One of us got to live, right? I'll live through him. My life lives through Daniel. Your life lives through your siblings. You don't even have to have kids. If there's anyone left on earth that's blood related to you, your life extends through them. You don't need to have kids for your DNA to live on. Your DNA lives through your nieces and nephews, cousins. Y'all didn't know that, huh? You think your DNA just lives because of your kids. Daniel's only half my DNA. Even without having kids, my DNA lives on because I got the rest of my relatives with similar DNA. If somebody got 5% of my DNA lives on. Stop thinking you got to have 2,000 kids or 2,000 kids for your DNA to move or to survive. You shouldn't be concerned about DNA because of heaven and hell. So yeah, so that's the thing. So, and like I said, I will be doing a video about what it means to be homicidal. But it's okay to be passive aggressive. Okay. I rather be with a homicidal ideation. I'm going to be one or both. So I'm going to be passive aggressive or aggressive. I don't want to be aggressive. Number one reason why I'm not a man. Being passive aggressive, I keep some silence so I stay in my lady role. So if a man tells you you're passive aggressive and assertive, and they're the same zodiac sign as you, say yes, and I thought about it. At first, I kind of was rebelling against it. Then I thought about it. I said, he's right. Why am I arguing with him? This is another Scorpio. He's passive aggressive too. He's just both. He's passive aggressive and aggressive at the wrong times. I could say that Scorpio gentleman, he's aggressive at the wrong time. But he realized I was passive aggressive because it took him like decades and decades to see all the shots I've been throwing out at him without talking. I've been shooting at this brother way from the West Coast, but I did it through silence. Because it's things about his personality that I do not like. Okay? And ultimately, he realized it took him decades and decades. People take them a long time to realize you've been getting them the whole time. And then he finally snaps out and calls me retarded, calls me a retarded little girl and all that shit. It's cool. He apologized, though. Good brother. That's one of the things, I'm finding the kindness in other Scorpio males as I, every day I'm seeing, what, they all right. I never want to be with one. No way. It's the worst man to put in your household. You don't want to do that. But I would say the logic of the Scorpio male and the way they can explain me is okay. It's a good thing. I'm passive aggressive and assertive. And I have a homicidal ideation. It's okay. All of this is what the Lord wants me to have so I can survive through this life. I must have these traits to be a leader. I need to be passive aggressive. Everything that I display to someone else should not be an aggression. I should not be. Now I'm gonna be concerned. I should have been concerned if the other Scorpio said, "You're aggressive." He didn't say that. He didn't call me the bitch word. He didn't call me retarded again when he said it. He didn't call me a little girl. He just said you're very passive aggressive and assertive. That's all. And he's right. I was assertive because I asked to speak to the kids. I don't call back and ask. Never beg. You don't have to beg people for what you want. If I need to talk to the kids, I can go to court. I'm not going to go to court. I don't need to. You don't need to take people to court that the Lord is constantly punishing. The Lord is taking care of it. You don't need to take them to court. When my relative died and he called me all those names, the Lord sees it. The Lord will punish him. But the Lord will punish him less because he apologized. You know, the Bible actually says that, to apologize to people. You're supposed to ask the Lord for forgiveness and that individual. He didn't ask for forgiveness. I love that about the Scorpio man. I'm not his God. Don't ask me to forgive you. He just apologized. Just apologize. Another man or woman cannot forgive you. They're not your God. I love that apology because he's not coming to me for forgiveness. I don't want that kind of power. I don't. That's a beautiful apology to me. Some people would have been mad. Well, he didn't ask for my forgiveness. Disrespectful nigga. No, it's not disrespectful. Just apologize. I know a lady. I've known her since I was a teenager, y'all. And I've never heard her say, "I'm sorry." Something's wrong with that picture. Never. She's done many things to me. And she claims to be a religious lady, y'all. One time I was on the phone. You know, I talked about my testimony of being in and out the emergency department over my ear. I had infection and the fluid running all in the back of my head. I mean, I had deadly infectious fluid that was stemming from my ear that could have jacked me up. I'm healed now. I'm still healing. But this particular lady told me that the doctor shouldn't have gave me the medication. He gave me an antibiotic and an IV, y'all, to save my life. He was a white supremacist and didn't want to save me, but I told him, "I'll call the police on you." He said, "What you gonna tell the police, that you're trying to kill me?" You can't diagnose me with a deadly infection and I have insurance and not give me medication. And don't just keep giving me pills, because the pill is not working, sir. I talked about this in one video. I called a man. I said, "Man, you're not going to do this to me. The pills are not working." On WebMD and online and these doctor websites, it says I need an IV now. You got to put this medication in my bloodstream and not amoxicillin. He ended up putting Rocephin, which is the same medication that saved my sister's life in St. Louis. I said, "I need an aggressive treatment, man." Now, once he saved me, you're a doctor again. But this particular sister, she told me he shouldn't have gave it to you. I won't cry if she dies, y'all. You know, we got to start using more logic. Don't cry over people. This is where you become an aware empath. You just wish them well in their journey. But I'm not going to shed tears over this lady if she passes away when she has told me that basically the doctor shouldn't have saved my life and did not apologize for it. She's a religious lady too. It's kind of scary, ain't it? I still communicate with her. Because she don't have my life, y'all. She can't go up here to the track and walk 6 miles today. You don't need to punish people that God is already punishing. Feel sorry for people like that. She told me that, but I was one of the people that told her to get the implant that she needed in her body to save her life. These are highly narcissistic people, y'all. I suggested that she get the implant, the surgical implant that she needed to save her life. I said, go get it so we can have her around. But when I got sick and could have lost my life, I could have went into septic shock. Eventually, that non-bloodstream infection is going to go into my bloodstream. My body couldn't even handle it being a non-BSI, which is a non-bloodstream infection. She told me the doctor shouldn't have gave me the medicine. He should have made me wait. I wasn't going to survive it. See, my body, not hers. The stuff that she got going on in her body, my body wouldn't survive it. My body survives the preventative measure. See, my infection and problem got to be healed through the IV and medication before I go into septic shock. My body is a little bit too weak for the septic shock. Only the Lord could have pulled me out of that, but the Lord told me don't let it go that far. So you can keep contact with people here and there. I just know she's a wicked lady and she's not a good friend. She's an elder. She got hers coming. I mean, the lady's unhappy. You know, when somebody says that the doctor shouldn't have saved your life, they a pretty miserable person. This lady gonna go to hell. Me not talking to her ain't gonna do nothing. I went no contact with this sister too many times. She not gonna change it. When I go no contact with her, it doesn't do nothing but cause more sadness for her. I don't fight about it. I just know that the lady's wicked and I'm not around this lady on a regular. She wanted to come to my house, y'all. People are fucking crazy, right? You know, you done already said the doctor shouldn't have gave me the medicine, life-saving medication. And I told her, I said, well, I was getting too sick, I could die. She didn't even apologize. Within 2 or 3 months, she's asking to come to my house. No, dog, you can't come over. You lucky I'm still talking to you over the phone. Narcissists want way too much. Their standard is very unrealistic. If I'm gonna keep talking to you, I gotta set a limitation. Okay, you wish the doctor didn't give me the medicine. I ain't did nothing to this fucking lady for her to talk to me like that. The lady's out of her fucking mind. This is a heartless, soulless individual. Since I've been a teenager, I've never heard this lady apologize. Never heard her say I'm sorry. If we out shopping, you never hear her say I'm sorry or excuse me. You don't hear the I'm sorry. And that's why I don't hang around a lot of ladies like that. Ladies can be quite toxic. But I already got a plan for myself in my life. I'm gonna wish her well, but I won't sit around and cry if she passes. That's not logical. It's not logical. For one, it's not my mother. Now, if a lady says something real cruel to you and you still shed a few tears, make sure it's like your sibling, like your sister or your mother. It got to be a real, real close relative. But my mother never said anything like that to me. Neither has my sister. So just don't cry over these kind of people. That's the thing. And so what the lady said, would that be passive aggressive or aggressive? So when she says the doctor shouldn't have gave me the medicine, that's aggression. And maybe she doesn't advocate for her health. Maybe she needed medications that was denied of her. Maybe she's jealous of the Scorpio's strength. Because I'm not going to let you deny me and kill me. I told the doctor I've already called my attorney and I will call 911. He said, well, what you going to tell 911? I'm going to tell them you're trying to kill me. Because you are diagnosing me with a deadly infection. You're willing to write that I have a deadly infection and a severe infection that when you look it up online can cause death. You're willing to document that, but refuse medication. And I have health insurance. He don't want no call like that on him. Now y'all know a new tactic. You could call the police on your doctor. You didn't know that? He gonna treat other people better too. He never thought somebody would tell him that. The jealousy of the Scorpio strength and the fight that we have for our life is very envied by people. She may envy that. Envy and jealousy will make people say hateful things to you, especially once they feel comfortable with you. But I will not be shedding tears over someone that has no remorse, cannot apologize to me, and forgets about it like they have a right to do it. That's a very wicked person. They're not just evil, they're wicked. So yeah, that's stuff I go through. I have to, and the Lord has to enter me in these war zones so that I can speak about it, so you understand the correct reaction you should have. Because a lot of people, when they're attached and trauma bonded to these type of ladies, they can't stop crying when they die. I have a playlist called Sad Management. And what I'm going to do is add this video to my Sad Management playlist. Yep, I sure will. Because this is part of, and I think I got another playlist called Emotional something, how to handle your emotions. So yeah, I'm going to add this video to that playlist. I sure am. Because this is good sad management. Crying time for people that you weren't speaking to, that said they wish you die and the doctor shouldn't give you the medication. If you do choose to cry, if it's like your mother or sibling that talks to you like this, cut off time days. Give them 90 days. And this is crying every blue moon. 90 days, that's it. When my relative died in Texas, Daniel had to tell me, Mom, you got to let the dead go. See, I'm around people. Isaiah and Daniel, they don't allow it. They don't allow it. They say, stop that. You know why? I taught them how to be happy, y'all. I taught my sons how to be happy. Crying and all that stuff, like one of my cousins used to say, it's a demonic energy. Now, crying a couple of times, that's That's grieving and healing. But to constantly be crying, somebody that treated you like shit, been dead 10 years, and you can't stop crying over the shit. You can't stop crying over their mean ass. You got an emotional problem. You need to do sad management. That's what I called it. Sad management. You know how people do anger management? That's what needs to be done. Oh, let me bring this issue up again. Okay, the issue of the aware narcissist issue, right? So one of the things that makes them at the end of their life not have the proper supply source or people around is their inability to move on from their past, right? And this is one of the things I do, y'all. Exes do not come in my home. So this is the result that I get. Any man that interacts with me knows this. Exes do not enter my house or my residence. So it always leaves me open for a decent relationship because males are willing to interact with me and hang out with me. Okay. Men don't want to hang out with ladies that got their motherfucking ex, they baby daddies, they ex-husbands, they ex-boyfriends all in the damn house. Most men will not too much care that I got a teenage son or I got children that I have a good relationship with. My children are older. Most men do not care about that. Most men, my children are not looking for no stepdaddy. They don't care to have one. I ain't looking for no stepdaddy. So I always have the male gaze and the male contact. It's always available to me. I could go out and have sex anytime I want to if I wanted to do it, but I'm not doing it, okay? But aware narcissists, they never leave a past behind, just like with the aware narcissist, what he's going through with his grandkids, right? He just sent me a photo, you know, his ex-mother-in-law had a almost 100th birthday party. And his ex-wife, she won't sit next to him and all of that. There's nothing romantic going on with these individuals. Y'all, this lady, it's so sad when he sent me the photo. His first wife, this woman is over 300 pounds, y'all. This woman is twice my size. She's maybe about 340. Sad. 340 pounds. So see, she suffers the consequences of I can't recognize her now. You know, if I become 340 pounds, I'm unrecognizable. If I walk outside, nobody knows who the hell I am anymore because it deforms my face. And you know what? My aware ex-narcissist, when he sent me the photo, he had to tell me which one the ex-wife was, his first wife. When we was in the relationship, I was fine with it because I knew that was his way of seeing his sons and his grandkids. But like I said, it all backfired because the grandkids do not contact him on their own because the first supply source, that first wife, she controls all of that. It wasn't even, the grandkids wasn't even in the photo. So he sat there with his ex-mother-in-law and shared that with me. And they had stopped inviting him over for like 3 years or so, 2 or 3 years. They stopped inviting him. So he had reached out to me earlier this year about it. And I said, well, just ask. Ask them if you could come back over. Y'all, I got game. I told my aware narcissist, this is why he called me a player, y'all, because of my mentality. Not a player like a cheater, not like that. Just meaning I got some game. I said, ask him if you could come over. Because I'm thinking to myself, nigga, you is never coming back to my house. Please go ask that lady and that lady and that man if your ass can come over. Because you're not bringing your bitch ass over here. That's passive aggressive. I didn't say that to him. This is why my ex Scorpio, my first love, this is why he said I'm passive aggressive. He's right. He's right. I'm very passive aggressive. Because all I said was, yeah, ask her if you could come over. But I'm not saying, nigga, you can't never come back to my house. That's all in being passive aggressive. You got to figure that part out. And he called me and he sent me the photo. Y'all, this photo, black people in this morbid obesity, I'm so sick of seeing it. Let me get this photo out so I can give y'all a description. We just dying by the numbers, y'all. We dying by the numbers, and it just needs to stop, right? Let me find this photo so I can give you an example. And it's almost good that the aware narcissist, he ended up losing some of his belly fat and stomach when he stopped the couple of years that he stopped going to those get-togethers at his first his ex-wife house. She's the mother of his kids, and you know, he's always been able to prove, you know, what he says. He and he sent me some beautiful photos of his mother. So this is his ex-mother-in-law birthday party. Now there's let me see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me see. Hold on. Let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 obese to morbidly obese people on this photo, and the rest is overweight. There's only one person on this photo that's normal body weight, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's 14 people on this photo, and out of 14 people on this photo, there's only one sad-looking person that's normal body weight, that's slim. 8 of them are obese or morbidly obese. And then about 4 or 5 of them are overweight. So out of 14 people, there's only 1 normal, 8 obese, and morbidly obese. Some of them are morbidly obese. And 5 of them are still overweight. It's a shame. It's almost a good thing that the aware narcissist I was with is out of this freaking family. And see, this is the thing. You wonder, well, why does he contact me? Sometimes you can be what you call a somatic narcissist, right? So out of his exes, I'm probably in the best shape. I got a little thickness to me, but I'm not 350 pounds. But see, this is the cycle that victims and narcissists go through. See, this is why you keep your ex-husband out of your residence, right? You keep your ex-husband and ex-wife out of your face so you can be focused on yourself and looking in the freaking mirror. See, I don't have this Negro in my house. This aware narcissist doesn't come around me. So when I look in the mirror, I can see myself because my focus ain't on him. I'm also not depressed. He had to point out which one she was. It's a shame because I've watched her get bigger and bigger. And you can't recognize her now. His first wife is unrecognizable in photos. He got to tell me which one she is. And when I make the picture bigger, I can see that that's who she is. She's not pretty no more, y'all. After you get 350 pounds, you're not pretty, especially if the weight go in your face and neck. Now, for some ladies, the weight don't go there. So you can say, okay, their body is in shambles, but they face pretty. This is horrible. But I'm one of his only victims. If you have dated a narcissist, even unaware when you're still a victim, even if they're not beating you, just the fact you was with this person makes you a victim. Because there's no really successful outcome, right? And so he looks miserable sitting there, but the supplies after her, like me, I'm not gonna be bothered with this. See, these type of empaths and aware narcissists, they won't let the past go. See, if he was willing to let the past go, he would have a better relationship with his grandkids. See, I don't care about those relationships because I don't need to beg a narcissist to have a grandchild. It's not that valuable to me because I love the Lord. We put too much value on people that we shouldn't. But you know, the aware narcissist, his first wife, he left her this house. Okay, he left her this house. He was in the military, left her the house. And so the only people that's blood related to him in the picture with these 14 people are his beautiful sons. That's it. All these other people are related to his ex-wife. And it ain't nothing going on. You know, he's not even attracted to her anymore because of the weight he says. He says she looks like, one time he said she looked like a penguin. She reminds him of a penguin. This is how he talks about her. This is why you don't let narcissists in your house, y'all. She's broke up with the nigga, right? So she letting him in, and then when he leave, he called me and said, you know what? Let's call her Ethel. Ethel looked like a penguin. She gaining a lot of weight, and she hadn't got to 350. She about 350 now. I can look at her and tell how big she is. All she need is 250 more pounds, and she'll be on my 600-pound life. And I told my aware narcissist, the ex-aware narcissist, I said, I hate to see her like that because she's at risk of a heart attack. Then who gonna take care of her mom? See, it's all bad. But I stay out the limelight. See, as an aware empath, I can properly do a breakup. We're not together. I don't belong at your house. You don't belong at mine. Let me give you an idea of what it's like at the narcissist place, right? It's a very small apartment. Staying the night there. What's that like? It's scary. He won't lock his weapons up, right? It's very unsafe because if somebody was to break in, he got pistols all out in the living room, in the bathroom, in the bedroom, and it's a pistol every fucking where in that little bitty ass apartment. It's sad. Okay, so when you stay the night, what aware narcissists will be, or what they will do, and I figured out that this is how some of them will work. They know, they're able to notice that once a lady stays the night, she does not return. So what he tried to do was kind of be smart and not have women staying the night. Because he already know once you stay the night and you wake up with them and you're there in the afternoon with them, you're not coming back. He knows a normal person at least would not come back to stay the night. So there's no life energy. He has a ID channel addiction. So this whole time while he was basically losing the relationship with his grandkids, he was always watching the ID channel. That's all he watches, murder. So as he watched murder every evening without no balance, I watch a mixture of things, not just murder. So as he watches this without any balance, then he ends up collecting weapons. Um, when you wake up at his place, he treats people like furniture, right? So he just walk right past you like you're not even existing. He sits there. His first go-to in the morning is he's like a child. So he gets this happy childlike behavior from all the texts that come in. And this is why he'll text me, good morning, good morning, good morning. I talked to him over the weekend, but he can't understand I don't do good morning text. Stop texting me this stuff. An aware narcissist, no matter how aware they are that they are a narcissist, I call him an aware narcissist because he calls himself a narcissist. Okay, he says he is one, so he's aware, but they're always unaware. I can logically say, okay, I've been texting this person good morning, they're not responding, they do not like good morning text, and I can stop the behavior. An aware narcissist, they want to keep taking power and control. They don't know when to give that up. I already pretty much told this man I don't do good morning texts like that. He's still gonna send them because he may not even notice that I'm not replying, but they are. It's just crazy. So spend the night and part of the day with narcissists. They're gonna go places and not invite you. They always are an aware narcissist. They're always locked into their prior supply sources, and it's good for them. Let me tell you why. It's a smart move. It's a smart move not to give up the other people completely that were in your life because the new people are not going to tolerate it. I'm new. I've known him over a decade, right? But I'm new compared to his ex-wife and stuff like that. This is an older man. He's my elder, right? So he's an older man. So his kids are almost my age, pretty much. But it's to keep the prior supply sources. And like I told him, ask his baby mama if he could come back over. I told him to do that. And he thanked me for that. He took me up on my suggestion. They ain't messing around. I've been around a lot of people that, see, they're not restraining each other from their kids. So they didn't do that fight in court, that custody battle. They did fight a little bit in court for a brief period, but they didn't fight over the kids. They didn't fight over the house. They didn't do that narcissistic shit in that area. So in turn, because they didn't do that narcissistic mess, they can have a gathering at the house. But she may feel obligated to allow him to come visit since he left her the house when he was in the military and they went through their separation. Ultimately, they ended up divorced. So he had always told her, you know, when the kids turn 18, he getting out of there. And that's what he did. But she still allows him to come in the house. She may feel obligated because of the fact that he left her the house in the separation and divorce. And she had restrained him from the house and got him out of the house, but he just went along with the court orders and just left him alone. And he comes back as a visitor once a year, once every 2 years, not very often. And there's a bunch of other people there, all the morbidly obese people. But see, I support people and they moving on with their life, but go over there because you're not coming here. And see, this is the thing with these type of aware narcissists. He always spoke of how kind my sons were to him. Okay. So it's weird because guys like this, they don't really want the stepkids and stuff like that. But that thank you and that gratitude that he would get, whether he realizes it or not, he got that gratefulness from my sons. He actually went to Isaiah's job yesterday to check on Isaiah, but Isaiah was off work. So he went to go check on Isaiah, my oldest son. So that gratefulness and gratitude that he got that from sons that are not blood related to him. And my sons, they don't go around him anymore. Two of my sons, when they went through their little peer pressure stage, when they were runaways, they looked him right in the face and didn't speak. My aware ex-narcissist, he had a conversation with Elijah over the phone about a year or so ago, about within the last year, this year or whatever. And so the attention and love he trying to get, he's not getting it from his blood grandkids. I'm not going to get it from them neither. Even grandkids, they just ain't the same as they used to be. A grandchild will look you right in the face, have their back to you and everything. See, the thing is, this is what the aware narcissist doesn't understand. And this is what I won't share with him, but I'll share with you. I have a standard for the type of kids I interact with. And they're kids that are filled with the Holy Spirit. They're good Muslim girls and boys, and they're good Christian girls and boys. Filled with spirit-filled children. And the reason I do it is because when they see me, they light up like a Christmas ornament. I don't celebrate Christmas, but I'm just saying they're lighting up like some lights on a Christmas tree. They smiling, they happy. How you doing, Miss Irene? Those are the type of children I deal with. Isaiah and Daniel treat me that way. They're just smiling and happy. Isaiah and Daniel, they go to church too. Daniel's fully saved and baptized, but Isaiah loves the Lord. These are kids that love the Lord. They'll treat you different. See, the aware narcissist grandchildren, he has not implemented a faith-based relationship with these kids. It's not based on religious fundamentals. And so these are not spirit-filled grandchildren. One of his grandsons said on this one post that he wants to be in the sport that he's in so he can have an identity. And my heart went out to the aware narcissist grandson when I watched that, because he's looking for an outside source to give him an identity. You are a human being without the sport. So see, in the long run, him trying to develop an identity through his sport stuff will backfire, because that's not really your true identity. That's just something you do and you get into. Your identity, my identity within itself is not just having this YouTube channel. My identity is spiritual. It's much more than the activities I can do. But if I wanted to develop an identity through content creation, it's more valid because I'm teaching spiritual things. Sports is not spiritual, y'all. It's athletic and healthy. A lot of sports, it's abuse of the body and will make you in a bad situation later. It sure will. So yeah, ultimately, it's always better to be an aware empath. Unaware empaths, they do the same thing that aware narcissists do. They don't know how to cut supply sources. Out of all my ex-narcissist supplies, I'm in the best situation because I'm actually in a physical no contact. See, I never lived with this man, so I don't have to cohabitate with this man. I just don't have to. And so that puts me in the best situation that I can be in. Okay. So please check the description below. Please go to my son Daniel channel and like, share, and subscribe. I will be putting Daniel's channel down in the description box. It will be under the fair use music, y'all. So please go like, share, and subscribe to that. And yeah, support his channel. Supporting it too, y'all. You know, when anyone is went through, oh my God, listen to this, y'all.
Stay back. Is the baby okay?
Wow, this is like a cat fighting a bear, y'all. Listen to this.
Stay back.
I'll put this in the description video. But then it makes you wonder what's AI and what's not. But this is a cat protecting a baby. The baby's in the car seat from a bear. Listen to this.
Stay back. Is the baby okay?
I'm gonna click a like to that, y'all. That was cute. That sure was. That was real cute. So yeah, please like, share, and subscribe, y'all. Tune in for more right here with the Advanced Insight channel. Tune in for more right here with the Advanced Insight channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe to Daniel's channel too, my son Daniel channel. I will put his video under the fair use music accredited too, because I use the music from his short. And so that'll take you to his channel, and like, share, and subscribe there. Daniel's trying to do something positive with his life. Please support him. Okay. Thank you. Bye. Take the time to respond to these comments. Okay, so for the young brother that says he's from Pakistan, let me see, because originally in the video, so I'm sorry about this, I was going to end the video, but I cannot. It's rude to ignore someone's comments. So he says, give me permission to be here. I said, fine, you're here. So some of it I couldn't understand, but he says he's going to subscribe. So thank you for the gentleman from Pakistan that's going to subscribe. Thank you for sending out the smile to me, the gentleman from Pakistan. So he says, "Dear ma'am, listen, please." So the gentleman from Pakistan saying he needs a girlfriend for long life. Please tell me who person is for friending me. Okay, so I can't. I mean, I don't know if that's I mean, he could get a girlfriend here, but it won't be me. Um, he says his English very weak. No, I think his English pretty good. He's from Pakistan, and I most of what he wrote I can read it. He says, "I'm a young boy, age 24." I like how he calls himself a boy because scientifically, you are not fully developed in the mind till 25. Some guys will mature in the brain sooner, but I go off science. Science says your brain is fully developed at 25. Some scientists even say 27, but I'll give it 25. So he calls himself a boy. He is. Look in the eyes of a 24-year-old man, and you're going to see a child. Look in their eyes. Their brain is not fully developed till 25, y'all. Some scientists say 27. This is for a man, for a boy and a girl. So I like how he's not, the gentleman from Pakistan that left the comments, I like that he's not letting go of his youth. Because he's a boy. He literally is. He's not a teenage boy, but see, in the United States, they got this criminal justice system so they can torture people. And so look back at all the silly stuff you did when you was 25 and under. Most people don't even start maturing till they're in their late 20s. That's because their brain is fully developed because they've hit 25 or 27. I'm going to say 25. Some scientists say your brain is fully developed at 27, but I'm going to say 25, give or take. Okay, 25, 27. So, I like how the gentleman from Pakistan, it might look silly to you because he say he a young boy, but he's being raised right. They told him, you ain't no damn man. Yeah, he's doing manly things. Teenagers could work. Yeah, teenagers can work. So thank you for the gentleman that oh, let me see if I could read. Oh, Pago. Okay, so his name is Paagal, Pago. So thank you, Pago from Pakistan, for all of the nice comments you left. I appreciate you. If you subscribed, thank you for the subscription, and tune in for more right here with the Advanced Insight channel. I'm very grateful for all your comments. It meant a lot. And I think your English is very good. I pretty much understood everything that you're typing. I had no problem with understanding your English. Keep up the great work. Pago from Pakistan. I appreciate all your comments. I really do. So, yeah. So sorry about that, y'all. I was going to be ending the live, and I will be releasing this live to the public right away. Give me about 15 minutes to add the videos in the description box, okay? And please give me about 15 minutes to do that. And thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to my son Daniel's channel as well.